Yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. But hey, there's no reason not to think that it's going to be better than it is now.
And also good to be aware that certain things may not ever go back to the way they were. It's a good point. It's like a difficult thing to accept, but and even if it is true, it's still worth bringing what we can back to the way it was, assuming we want it that way. But I think restaurants, for the most part. But this is kind of an opportunity. Check this out, Greg. Um, Key West is where my parents live. Tiny island. There's Florida. So here's the U.S. for our viewers that are watching. And then in the southeast, Florida sticks off, and then off the tip of Florida is a chain of tiny islands. It's kind of hard to see it on a map unless you zoom in there, but there's these little islands called the Keys. At the very end is Key West, and it's not because it's the westmost island. It's because its original name was like Koi Wost or something like that, which means Bone Island, believe it or not. So my elderly parents live on Bone Island. Anyway, Key West, great, beautiful beautiful.
Place to live.
It does sound like a nice place to retire. Beautiful, beautiful place, clear water, fantastic weather. It's a paradise, but people in the past few years have been having the cruise ships that they're on dock at the island. So, like, the cruise ships are comparable size to the island. Like, the ships are enormous, and they make an enormous amount of noise. They bring an enormous amount of tourists to the island, and they also take up an enormous amount of space. Since coronavirus started, the docking of cruise ships was banned, and the cruise ships are not allowed to dock there anymore. And now that some places like Florida, of course, are trying to get back, quote unquote, get back to normal sooner, i.e., change the rules back to the way they were faster, they're going to have a vote on whether or not the cruise ships can come in again. But you can also sign and say, I don't want them to ever come back again. And that the change that we implemented from coronavirus, such that the cruise ships no longer dock here, is better. And now that I've tried that, I like that, and I want to keep that. I don't want it to go back to the way it was before. That was worse than this. So in that sense, it's an opportunity to change certain things that would otherwise have been really tough to sort of change in the first place, but after you change it, you can see what the benefits are. And this is one of those cases. The water in the bay where the boats dock had become this blackish, murky color, and now when my parents go there months later, it's beautiful and clear and blue, just like the rest of the ocean.
Wow.
The environment's important. The ecosystem is important. The biology is important. If you're running this gigantic ship, there's got to be stuff oozing out of it, oil, poop, God knows what chemicals, and is churning up the whole ocean floor and moving this massive amount of water. Like, you're clearly impacting your environment. It's the only barrier reef system in the United States, and they're driving these giant boats through it. And even if you don't care about fish and you don't care about the environment, one of the reasons people come to be tourists and spend money and buy drinks in Key West is because it's beautiful and because of the flora and the fauna. Mm-hmm. So if you run over all of it and poison all of it, you actually can't sell your drinks anymore. So even if you're purely economically motivated, you should be recognizing the economic value in not destroying your island. So this is maybe a silver lining of the COVID thing, and I hope they do. ban the boats from docking, and apparently this is what one thing I said, couldn't they send a little boat with people on it from the cruise ship, like a satellite ship? I was talking to my parents about this, and they're like, that's what they used to do. And so at some point, the cruise ship people just got so much power and influence that they were able to slide in there, but this might be in the chance to get them the fuck out.